Good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to be here today. I hope you're as excited as me and the team to kick off Project Stream, one of the most anticipated projects at Netflix this year. As we go through today's presentation, I'll be providing you with a brief overview of the project, along with the vision underlying the project. Different members of the team will then take a deeper look at different aspects of the project. We'll end with details of the team chosen to steward and oversee this project and then see this vision to fruition. As we all know, Netflix has had a great run over the last 20 years, but doing business in our local markets now gets increasingly challenging. We see new streaming services and competition coming up every day, which is increasing our cost of doing business. Acquiring new customers is now costlier than it used to be before. Getting good quality content at the same price is even harder. All these factors are leading to several growth challenges we're seeing in our local markets. Leadership at Netflix has been aware of this for a while. We've been working with different parties to understand where we should be taking our business and where we should be moving next. Project Stream is an outcome of these initiatives. With Project Stream, we intend to capture the Indian market by providing region-specific content. We chose India because there are several demographic and economic factors which help our case. The Indian viewers are also very similar to American viewers, so it will help us leverage some of the experience we have in creating content. It's also important to understand, though, that the Indian market is very different from the US markets. There are several challenges related to the regulatory environment as well as content creation. These are all factors that we need to think about when we expand into the Indian market. If this project is done well, we're looking at growing our user base by 15 million more subscribers and an additional revenue growth of 250 million over the next 2 years. Shantam will now cover different aspects of our company and our current situation.
Thank you, Sid, for that project overview. Now, before we jump into the details of this project, I do think there's value in quickly talking about the background on Netflix, doing a quick business analysis summary, and then looking at our financials to really see why we're moving in this direction and why this project is important. So as you all know, Netflix is one of the largest internet television providers both in and outside of the US, capturing over 120 million customers from 190 countries and streaming about 140 million hours of content every day. Now, if we look at the actual business, we see that on the bright side, we've got a terrific balance sheet, we've got good fundamentals, and in terms of industry and macroeconomic level, tailwinds, we've really seen a growth in customer spending, more cash in the hands of the customer, so it's easier to attract them towards our business. However, on the flip side, we have a lot of debt, and this debt requires us to continuously find opportunities to grow and keep expanding that top line so that we can service it. That being said, when we really compare the domestic and international markets, we see that in the domestic market, we've got a good foothold, but a lot of competition from vendors like Hulu and Amazon Video. But internationally, I think we've got a better platform. We've got more untapped customers. And again, all of this is driving our push towards focusing on those customers that do have an increasing amount of cash in their hands. You can even see this in the financials when you see that in the domestic side, we've really capitalized on those dollars coming into the top of the revenue. But in the international side, we can definitely have projects like this help push more dollars to flow from revenue to the bottom line. So with all of that, this project is really important because our outlook has to be outward. We have to look at customers internationally and customers that we haven't captured yet. And we can do that by developing region-specific content that'll be more applicable to them. Now, Salil is going to take us through some of the more details of this project.
Thank you, Shantam. Hello, everyone. I'm Salil Sabare. It's nice to see you all present here today. As my colleague mentioned, to further our growth as a company, expanding our international reach was the next logical step. Now, with this in mind, we launched our streaming service in the Indian subcontinent last year. As you can see from the graph, at the end of our fiscal year 2017, we had garnered a customer base of 0.5 million. This is definitely a good number for us. Currently, our viewers are concentrated in the urban population centers, but with this project, we aim to establish a strong foothold in the interiors. We are all well aware how diverse India is, be it the various languages or the cultures. Now, developing content capable of catering to all these palettes is definitely a challenge, but we are viewing this as a key opportunity. This programming is not only helping us establish a foothold in India, but will help assist penetrate other regions in Asia which share similar languages and culture. Our goal is to target 15 million new internet users in the next 2 years. This number comes from our key drivers. India has seen an exponential growth in its internet users. Currently, this number sits at 500 million. We are confident that with our aggressive marketing strategies, we can achieve our target. Our only competition in the interiors is cable television, which is very widespread. But in comparison to that, we are offering them global content free of ad, censorship, and which is much more refined. Another one of our key drivers is the only other streaming competitors that we have are also in their very nascent stages. So we can definitely capture the market here. Now to discuss our implementation, I will call upon my colleague Nitin. Thank you.
Now let's dive a little deeper into the specifications here around implementation requirements, costs, and value and benefit. In terms of implementation requirements, we do have to build a better predictive platform that will be more catered to this market. We also have to conduct a lot of hiring activities around kind of the regional directors and production houses, marketing, consultants, etc. We also do have to set up our studios. And finally, we have to conduct some kind of a new subscribers onboarding, which will help us really acclimate our new customers to how our platform runs. In terms of key costs, we've really broken it out into two. We've got the one-time costs that are going to be paid up front, such as the recruiting cost of our personnel, such as materials and content acquisition and consultants. And then we have the recurring costs around paying their regular salaries and really, being able to develop that content on an ongoing basis. And finally, if we think of our benefits and value here, really there's a few. We've got an early movers advantage to really capitalize on these people and these customers before others do. We've got a pre-existing platform, which means we don't need a huge lead time to develop that underlying platform that'll help us to grow in this space. And finally, there are a lot of barriers to entry. It's not easy for a small company to just start production in this area. You need to have a considerable market size, and Netflix does have that presence that allows it to really target this market. Now, moving forward, we do want to look at some of the key considerations, and Chaitanya will walk us through that.
Some of the key considerations involved in the Netflix Stream project are maintaining diversity in the content library by building compelling content which is continuous and ever-growing, and this can be achieved by associating with local entertainment companies and collaborating with online content creators. Aside from content, with internet access still being a challenge in India and more number of people prefer to stream on mobile platforms, we should be looking into options of offering streaming at low internet speeds. This can be achieved by capitalizing on our dynamic optimizer tool, by enhancing the video encoding techniques to target quality streaming at speeds as low as 200 kilobytes per second. And also we should partner with local network providers or local cable providers so that we integrate our apps with the set-top boxes so that users can stream through the set-top boxes. And some of the risks involved in the project are partnering with cable networking will be a challenge as there is a high level of lobbying and influence, especially with the given competitors in place. And also the investment costs are really high for building and maintaining content across various regions. And the third one would be the net neutrality standards, which are really vague and we may not assure our guaranteed service delivery to our clients. And also, since we plan to build a production studio, which will give scope to a lot of opportunities, and we have to plan to hire local talent. And these are the risks that are involved. And now I would like to hand it over to Aditi to speak on project flow and stakeholders. Thank you.
So far, we've talked about why we are doing this project. Let us now talk about what would be the next steps in the delivery of this project. We have broken down the project into 6 major phases, starting with the kickoff meeting in the project launch phase, which is soon going to be followed by the requirements gathering phase, in which we will gather all technical, content, and business requirements from key stakeholders. This is going to be used to design the production in the production design phase, which would then culminate into the content creation supported by marketing, followed by the actual content launch on Netflix India. The key stakeholders that are vital to the success of the project are the regional head, Mr. Arnab, whose strategic vision is being realized in this project. The content head, Shantam, whose expert knowledge in creation of content and market needs is important to consider while taking down the requirements. The technology lead, Nitin, whose thorough technical knowledge for technical requirements is going to be key to taking down specifications that would be needed for the content that we are creating. Aditi, the marketing lead, whose marketing expertise is going to be important to make this content launch a success. And this is going to be supported by Chaitanya, Salil, and Siddharth, who are the production lead, financial controller, and project managers, and they will be in the day-to-day of things. We have specified communication plan with each one of these stakeholders to ensure accurate and up-to-date communication with each of them. With that, I'd like to end our presentation and open up the floor for any questions. Thank you.